Merci. Please introduce yourself to the members of the jury.
Hi there, my name is Cameron Lee.
How are you involved in today's case, Ms. Lee?
Well, I was actually camping at Calkins the weekend that Parker Page died. I was there to see the pine warbler migrate. It's the best bird to watch ever, and it only migrates that time of year in Midlands.
So would you say you're familiar with Calkins Campground?
Oh, absolutely. I could hike most of those trails without a map.
Could you describe for the members of the jury the layout of Calkins Campground?
Of course, there's a group of campsites clustered around my favorite pond in the whole camp, and then there's this bridge that connects them to the trails. And that bridge is the only way that you can get from the campsites to the trails. And let me tell you, that bridge squeaks, which is very frustrating for an experienced birder such as myself, who needs peace and quiet to conduct her bird watching.
So let's talk about July 14th for a minute. Did you meet Jordan Ryder that day?
Yeah, I did. I met Jordan 3 times that day.
Do you see Jordan Ryder in the courtroom today?
Yeah, he's over there in the robin's egg blue tie.
The record reflect that the witness has correctly identified the defendant. Ms. Lee, about how many times would you say you saw Jordan Ryder on July 14th?
I saw Jordan 3 times.
And let's talk about each of those times. Tell us about the first time you saw Jordan Ryder.
Well, it was in the morning. I was crouched behind a bush, blending into the forest, trying to spot the pine warbler, which I thought was in a nest right above my head. Then, all of a sudden, Jordan drove through in his huge, loud truck, making so much ruckus, it scared me, and I jumped up and blew my cover.
So you said you saw Jordan in this truck. Was Parker with Jordan in that truck?
Oh yeah, because as loud as that truck was, Parker's voice was even louder. I mean, I've never heard a voice so similar to a red fox's in all my birding experience. And I don't think I need to tell you how much birds hate foxes.
Could you tell us a little bit more about what you saw going on inside that truck?
Sure. I mean, Jordan and Parker were yelling at each other a lot. It was like watching 2 baby birds fighting over mama's catch.
Let's talk about the second time you saw Jordan Ryder. Tell us about that.
It was a little later that afternoon. I was very frustrated from my unsuccessful attempts to spot the pine warbler in the morning, but I thought I'd try my luck again. So I headed to the trailhead of the Lacrone Loop because there's these gorgeous pine trees that grow by there, and this time I came prepared with the special birdseed my pine warblers just love. And that's when I saw Jordan and Parker again. They came through screaming and yelling just as I was about to lure that pine warbler towards me.
So, could you tell us a little bit more about what you saw Jordan and Parker doing?
Sure, they were yelling about going onto the trails. I mean, Jordan was yelling at Parker, Parker was yelling at Jordan, Parker was limping behind Jordan on her hiking staff. All I could think to myself was, if these guys don't get onto that trail soon, I'm never going to see the pine warbler again.
And did it look like they were about to begin their hike?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Around what time would you say you saw them near the entrance of the Lacrone Loop?
It must have been around 2:30 p.m., and thank goodness for that, because that meant that there was still daylight for myself to catch those pine warblers. I forgot my night vision binoculars at home that weekend like an idiot.
Let the record reflect that I'm placing on the timeline that at 2:30, Jordan and Parker entered the Lacrone Loop. Now, Ms. Lee, I want to talk to you about the third time you saw Jordan Ryder. Tell the members of the jury about the third time you saw him.
It was later that afternoon. I was cooling my feet in Muskie Pond, trying to relax after yet another unsuccessful attempt to spot the pine warblers, and I thought that I had completely blown any chance I ever had of seeing them. When I spotted some, I thought, in the trees right above the bridge that connects the trails to the campsites. So I reached into my birding bag, I grabbed out my best pair of daytime bird watching binoculars, and I was really focusing in hard on those pine warblers so that I could see them. When all of a sudden, Jordan walked right across that bridge, completely blocking my view.
So, you mentioned Jordan was walking across the bridge connecting the trails to the campgrounds. Which direction was Jordan walking?
Jordan was heading from the trails back to the campsites.
And about what time would you say you saw Jordan headed back to the campgrounds?
It was probably around 6:20 p.m. I know because the pine warblers were about to begin this gorgeous song that they only sing at that time of day during the migratory season.
Let the record reflect that I'm placing on the timeline that Jordan Ryder left Wood Road at around 6:20 p.m. Honestly, this is very important for members of the jury to understand. Was Parker with Jordan when he left those trails?
No, I mean, Jordan was carrying Parker's hiking staff, but Parker was definitely not with him. I gotta say, I was glad not to see Parker at the time because her voice had been scaring away those pine warblers all day. But I was really sad to hear about what happened to her.
Honestly, during the entire time you were sitting near that bridge, did you see Parker leave those trails at all?
No, the only person who I saw leave the trails that night was Jordan.
I have no further questions, Your Honor. Would one of the counsel like me to be